the events that happened over the weekend and during the weekend, the week we are in now. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah. My name is Harry, and this is a segment of Backer News on the Alaska Spice TV platform. It's a pleasure to have you out there. Oh, we saw the outcome of the PDP primaries. Yes, why am I shaking? Anyway, it's very interesting. I'm not really shaking actually, but I'm just a little bit surprised that the person I'm here to talk about today to us actually left PDP when the stake was getting really higher and the competition was getting highly stiff, and he left PDP. It's no other person but Peter Obi. But before we talk about Peter Obi, I just want to say that I hope we're all aware that the PDP primary has finally come and gone, and former Vice President of Nigeria, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, emerged as the winner of the presidential primaries. And the runner-up is no other person but the current state governor of Rivers State, Mr. Wike, who actually gave a very tight fight to the former vice president, who he emerged winner, and our former Senate president, Mr. Saraki, got about 70 votes from the delegates, and while Atiku won by 300 and something vote from the delegates who were there in Abuja. There were a lot of dramas that actually emerged from the PDP convention, and that saw the presidential aspirant hopeful of Southeast representative Peter Obi. Peter Obi surprisingly withdrew from the presidential race on that PDP platform. And this will be the second time that this man is withdrawing from PDP. When he first left Afghan, he came to PDP and he left and he came back. And now he has left again. And when being asked why he left PDP, he gave his reasons that I'm sure that he gave his reasons that he's no longer having confidence in the system, and he believes that he is passionate, he wants to serve Nigeria, and he's not desperate to be a Nigerian president, but he's actually willing and making himself available to be the next Nigerian president in order to build the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, to be quite honest with you, I have seen all the presidential aspirants so far vying for the position of the president. And I made some inquiries and I spoke to people from APC, PDP, ADC, and the rest of them. And I'm going to be very frank with you. If Nigeria according to, if we are to, Nigerians are to follow the situation just as we are getting it right now from the economy, as well as the way people are dying of hunger and poverty and job and deflation, by the plans that being enlightened by this candidate, I think by general opinion that Peter Obi stands out as a best and an ideal candidate for Nigeria. Then when I ask someone, and the person is actually from PDP, who is a known member of PDP, is a very well-known member, and I asked, so if Peter Obi is the most eligible person to be filled as the presidential aspirant for PDP in the upcoming election, what are the reasons why the party is not feeding Mr. Peter Obi for the presidential candidate? This was the explanation given to me. And when I have been thoroughly briefed on the condition on how the politics of Nigeria actually move and how they operate, and what is considered as a winning possibilities and what is considered as a failure. And I discovered why Peter Obi is having a lot of struggle, and why he decided to leave the party to join other party. When Peter Obi made the announcement that he resigned his membership and he withdrew his presidential aspiration under PDP, Personally, and all of us here at the studio, we were quite shocked, we were surprised that we were actually looking forward to the primary, basically because we have you there, because by records and by statistics and data that everyone has about Peter Obi and the rest of the candidates that are vying for the position of the Nigeria president under PDP, Peter Obi stands out as number one. No bias, nothing. So when I made some further inquiries, I was asked to do some research about the votes, the voters, and the delegates and all that. And here is what I found. I found a lot of shocking information about Nigeria. And I discovered that really our politicians are just doing what they are doing because the fact that Nigerians do not really pay attention to Nigeria politics. Here's what I found. We have, by population density, the number of Nigerians alive today, home and abroad, according to statistics estimation actually, because there has not been census done in Nigeria. Nigeria is estimated over 200 point something million people. And guess what? So surprising, about 84 million people are eligible registered voters in Nigeria. Just imagine what that means. Only 84 million people out of 200 are registered voters in a country of 200 million. And this is why I see that, okay, if 84 million people are registered, so that means that, okay, it's still not too bad, but let's look into the aspect of the voting. Surprisingly, I was so disappointed. Out of the 84 million people that are qualified, that are eligible voters in Nigeria currently, only 34% of these people voted in 2019 election. Only 24% of these 80 million voted for the election that was done in 2019. And we are here sitting at home complaining on Twitter and on Facebook and thinking that these people are our problem. Really, Nigerian citizens, we are playing a lot of roles in making sure that our country go down by not turning up to vote. How can we, in a population of over 200 plus million population of people in a country, and only 84 people are eligible voters? Please, enough of coming on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram crying. And I want to appeal to Nigerians, home and abroad. Please, let us make sure that we have our voters card ready. Let's get our PVC. Now I really understand why the politicians are doing what they are doing and nobody is questioning it. It seems like Nigerians do not really pay attention, or rather take the issue of election in the country very seriously. But I could be wrong in that statement, because it is not all Nigerians that are not taking the election seriously. Actually, there is this group or a region in Nigeria that is taking the issue of election in Nigeria very seriously, and that is the North. The North do not joke when it comes to the figures in the election. Let me give us a little breakdown. All right, I just told us here that in election we have 84 million eligible voters out of 200 plus million population of Nigerians. Let us not just to worry about that, but I'm about to break your heart even more to find out that the numbers of people that vote according to region, and it's so surprising. Now, I'm focusing on Peter Obi. If you ask me, from all the candidate that has come out to indicate their interest to run for the presidency, I must confess to you that Peter Obi has been a standout. He has actually touched my heart. Regardless of any other thing, Peter Obi has actually proved to Nigeria that he's available and is willing to do this job in order to get Nigeria back on track. Because Nigeria, what we really need at the moment is that we need leadership with vision. people who can recover the dying economy, and as well as unite all Nigerians together and fight the insecurity problem. And this is what we believe that Peter Obi is more of a capable hand in dealing with these issues. And with his experience and his track record as a two-time state governors, other ABGA in the past regime, he has proven himself. And know that Nigeria seems to be rallying around for him, and it was so surprised. And when he tendered his resignation later, and it seems like it was expected by PDP. So when I spoke with a correspondent from PDP head office, and I asked him, so why is Peter Obi being allowed to go? Peter Obi is allowed to go because PDP are weighing the option that if they make a mistake of giving the ticket to Peter Obi, they stand the risk of losing the presidential seat again, because the North will just take the number against. So I was like, what does that mean? Are you saying that, okay, even let's assume that the North always have the highest number of voters, but compared to the Southeast and the Southwest teaming together to compete against the North, are you saying that we don't have enough numbers to compete against the entire of the North? And here are the shocking figures that I found out from my own research. And please, you don't have to just believe everything I'm saying. Take some time out with your keen interest. Go and make some findings about these numbers I'm going to give you. I told us here earlier that about 84 million Nigerians are eligible voters. And guess what? I will give us here a breakdown of the people that are actually registered. The people that are people who go to on election day, they go out to vote on election day. Surprisingly, Peter Obi region, where he's from, let's be very I was like, no, Nigeria has not been fair to the southeast of Nigeria. The southeast of Nigeria is made up of 5 states. All right, when okay, let me just break that down for us first. Let me start it from the top. The Northwest is made up of 7 states, all right? And their major political party is PDP and APC. The Northeast is made up of 6 states, all right? And their major party as well is PDP and APC, as usual. The North Central is made up of 6 states, and their major political party is APC and PDP. The Northwest, the Northeast, and the North Central, in total, they are made up of 17,121,140 eligible voters for both APC and PDP. We're not talking about other parties that are feeding people for the eligible voters that voted for their candidate, the 2 candidates of APC and PDP in the last presidential election in 2019. If you put the numbers of the Northwest, the Northeast, and the North Central, they produced, their number was 17,121,120 voters. Now, let's go according to region. In Nigeria, according to their politics grouping, Nigeria is grouped as 6 geopolitical zones. And whenever an election is being counted, the voters card and the voters vote cast are being counted according to region. Now, in the last, I will take my figures from the last presidential election. And surprisingly, the poorest of all the elections from 2015, 2019, and the previous election, the Southeast has always come or always produced the poorest number of election eligible voters, and the numbers of voters that are always coming from the region. The Southeast seems to be lowest. And when I found out this video, I was like, so he said this is the reason why the PDP are not willing to allow Peter Obi. They are not denying the fact that Peter Obi stands out as the best candidate to be to be fielded as a presidential aspirant on that PDP platform, but they are not willing to risk a number of, can you imagine, in last presidential election, the numbers of voters that voted, the numbers of people that voted, eligible voters that voted in the last presidential election in 2019 for both APC and PDP, the total of the Southeast was only 2,097,000 people in a state of five states. And this has been the problem of PDP, and I'm very sure that this is what the party leaders and chairman and the board of directors were probably debating with Peter Obi, that look, we are not saying that you are not qualified, because I feel like I wanted Nigerians to understand why Peter Obi actually left PDP, regardless of his chances of being picked as a presidential election, and also the obstacles that he's going to face between Atiku and Wike in contending in the money politics. Because definitely Atiku said it earlier before he actually emerged as a winner, that he knew that if he declares his interest to be president of Nigeria, he's definitely going to get the ticket of the presidential candidate. And he said that, and actually that's what we just saw last weekend. Atiku has actually emerged, and I'm very sure that Peter Obi is a loyalist, and like he said, he openly admitted before he declared his intention to run for the president that Atiku is a unifier and Atiku is his leader, because they both had served under the past through 1999 and the 2013 and the rest of them until the past government in the past, and there's a close relationship between these two people, and they know that they can compete with one another, but their friendship and relationship in business and as well as governance does not differentiate, does not come in between their what they call personal relationship, clearly stated by Peter Obi. And this is one of the reasons why that Peter Obi left, that he's still assured that Nigeria prefer him to any candidate in both the APC and the PDP as the giant of the political parties of Nigeria, that he should be given a ticket. And that's why you see that all the political aspirants, all the political candidates that are vying for the position of the president, I was imagining, why were they all starting their campaigns from the north? Because I feel, now that I know, I see that they were trying to woo the eligible voters and delegates before the primaries and during the primaries and after the primary, to get them to vote for them, and make sure that, because they know that the numbers of people who vote are more in the north than in the southeast and the southwest. And this is a very shocking revelations that I just found out about our Nigeria elections. And yet the most affected part of Nigeria during every election, both riot and economic and every socio-economic impact, negative part, is always on the south, and in fact in the general south. And yet this part of the region of Nigeria do not honor or go to cast their vote during an election. And how do we intend to win the presidential election when we don't vote? And I want to use this opportunity to appeal to our people in the southeast of Nigeria. Peter Obi is no doubt is a favorite of all Nigerians in this coming election. He wants to win. He wants to win, and he wants to rule Nigeria. I want him personally. I want him to rule Nigeria because of his track record, and by judging the statistics of the figures that are available right now, he's not standing a chance to win. If you know that you support Peter Obi, I want to appeal to your conscience. Especially those in diaspora that are sending money for people to create more problem in Nigeria. And another thing is that I don't want to focus on the negative of what can stop Peter Obi from being the next president of Nigeria, but I am here to let us know that Peter Obi can actually be president of Nigeria, and will be hopeful, not because of any other reason. This is not because he's an Igbo man. This is because he's the most qualified candidate by experience and also by agenda. The thing he has enlisted to Nigeria as his major task if elected as president. These are things that actually we are looking at, that he's the most qualified person to be Nigeria president. But what are we going to do to make sure that Peter Obi gets into the Aso Rock? For Peter Obi to get into Aso Rock and do us a huge favor by recovering the economy and doing the needful, making sure that Nigeria bounces back into where it belongs, and the refineries and job opportunities, securities and all that comes back to normal. I want to appeal to the youth in the south and the southeast and the southwest and all the southerners to make it a priority that we rally around Peter Obi to make sure that he gets the number of votes. Like in the last presidential election alone, APC and PDP combined together from the north almost 18 million voters. Why in the south? Let's say the southwest, the southeast, and the south only produce 9 million. This is why you see that the northerners are speaking with so much confidence. How can 9 million voters compete with almost 18 million voters? You can see the gap. The gap is huge. That means that the southeast, the southwest, the south are not turning up for election. And then during the election time, you will see a lot of northerners, wherever part of Nigeria they are, returning home to make sure that they cast their vote. Meanwhile, all the rest of the southerners, they remain where they are. Some don't even cast their votes, some don't even get their PVC, some don't even do anything. Yet we are the most affected region of Nigeria when it comes to the dividends of democracy in our country. Peter Obi is from the south. And if you want to win an election, I want to appeal to all Nigerians. I am not campaigning for Peter Obi. I just know that Peter Obi is worthy of being the next Nigerian president. I just know that his track record has proven he has been indicted, and there is nothing to hold on to. There is nothing to hold nail on him. There is no apart from the fabrications and all the lies and all those things. But we don't want to be running. I want Nigerians to know that in this era of politics or in our country, we are no longer running politics by Twitter or Facebook or rant or anger or that. I want to appeal to all Nigerians. This is not just about the southeast. The southeast, we know them for what they are. They feel betrayed and all that. Yes, but the presidency of Peter Obi is not for southeast. It's for all Nigerians. I feel that Peter Obi will be somebody who will bring Nigerians together. I feel that Peter Obi has great ideas and initiatives, especially business, to boost the dying economy and unify all Nigeria. He promised to run a unity system of government, and I feel that Peter Obi, by our own rating from the statistics I have seen, he stands a great chance of being the next Nigeria president, despite the money politics that they are playing in Nigeria. But for Peter Obi to win against the likes of Atiku with too much money, the likes of Tinubu, who is so desperate to be the next Nigeria president, and the rest of them. Tinubu also equally has proven himself by how he has administered Lagos. Lagos does not belong to Tinubu, but in the past record and since he became a governor until date, Lagos seems to be far ahead of every other state. And this is part of his agenda. I mean, this has always been his I don't know what I should call it. If you ask him for his manifesto, he will ask, do you know Lagos? Have you ever been to Lagos State? What do you think of Lagos compared to other 36 states, including Abuja? This has been his manifesto, and he's claiming the glory and the glamorous investment and improvement in Lagos State. And for this reason, and Tinubu is highly loyal to the North, the Northerners are mobilizing for him. So for us to compete against the likes of PDP and the APC, who is likely to feed Tinubu or Osinbajo or whoever they decide to bring out in the election, they have postponed their primaries to the 6th of June, which is just a few days away. But now we want to appeal to Nigerians. I want us to keep all sentiment aside. Peter Obi is eligible. Let's be very honest with ourselves. Whether he's an Igbo man or not, where he comes from is irrelevant. He's a Nigerian, and he's quite intelligent, smart, good-looking, young. He understands the economy. He understands the people, and he's for the people. So I feel that I want to come out to appeal to Nigerians, especially those from the south, whether you are the southeast, whether you are the southwest, whether you are the south. We need to get the PVC done for those who don't have it. For those who already have it, please make sure, no matter the level of threat, no matter the level of whatsoever that people will be coming out for in the election, if you really want Nigeria to move forward, I genuinely feel that Peter Obi stand a great chance. But now he has left PDP, he went and joined Labour Party. Labour Party is less of a popular party in Nigeria politics, but that so be it does not is not a yardstick for him to not win an election. All right, it's even better that he left PDP and APC and to go and join a fresh party. If we rally around, if all the youth in Nigeria, the way we voted for Big Brother Nigeria, the way we have been participating in all sorts of social media that we feel that gives us a sense of pleasure and relaxation, if we rally around Peter Obi for his candidacy to be next Nigeria president, out of these 84 million eligible voters in Nigeria, even if the South or the Southerners of Nigeria can team up together and produce at least up to 20 million votes for Peter Obi, no matter how much they not rally, I do not think that there is no how Peter Obi will not get some millions out of those people. So if we can produce at least 20 million votes for Peter Obi from the Southerns or the Southern state only, and from the other people who he probably going to cajole to win and come to his side to vote for Peter Obi, we are going to have a promising Nigeria president in the next election. And hopefully it will not be a sellout, it will be on the side of the people, and we work faithfully in reviving the economy of the country for all of us, for the good of all of us, and for the future of our children, and for the future of us that are still here. Even though, because we usually say that whatever we're doing for children. How about we have a president that can do something that we will benefit even before we die, that we can say that yes, we did something right in our time, and it is in our time, in our generation, that Nigeria got improved, and our children are sure of a safe and guaranteed future for themselves in the next coming election. My name is Harry. Thank you for being there. I hope that I have been able to convince you a little bit. I just want to make it clear once more that I'm not campaigning for Peter Obi, but I believe in the unity and the awareness of Nigeria. And I believe that regardless of my non-affiliation to parties and whether friends or family that are running in other political parties, I've done my own analysis and I've looked at the scenes, and I've seen that Peter Obi actually is the most qualified and is mentally, spiritually, and morally ready to be our next president. Why can't we just join our hands together and rally around to make sure that we have a president that is good looking, is young, he can work over for 78 hours, he can travel and relate, he will not call us lazy youth, he will not deny us, somebody who can bring us together, and at the same time to bring peace to our brothers in the South who has been marginalized since 1963 after the Civil War of Nigeria. So I feel like let us put our sentiment aside, and I also want to use this as an opportunity to appeal to all our brothers in the Southeast. Please, let's stop the killing of our own people. Let's stop abusing people online, because this is one of the things that stands on his way to becoming a president. Let us be more open. If Peter Obi is going to be the next Nigeria president, a lot of criticism is going to be coming upon every Easterners. Everything that has to do with it is just like everyone criticized the Fulanis and the North. So we're going to be facing a lot from the South in general, and especially from the Southeast. So if we really want to produce and make sure project Peter Obi and making sure that he's the next elected Nigeria president, I'm appealing to our people, our brothers and sisters in the Southeast, to make sure that their heart is becoming more open to accept criticisms, to accept people who are going to be writing false accusations, propagandas and rumors are going to be coming out from the Southeast, because they are projecting somebody they feel that is a threat to every political aspirant in this next coming election for the 2023 general election for the position of the president. So please, let us keep our primitive way of talking and writing and publishing and abusing people. Be open to criticism. This is what it is. Public office means that you have to be tolerant. You have to be open to criticism. Peter Obi is an intelligent and qualified person, and he does not need people who will damage his image. No good father wants to have a child that goes outside and bring embarrassment to him. If you are one of those people that goes online to abuse people, that criticize the Southeast, criticize Peter Obi candidacy and all that, this is part of politics. Criticism is part of politics, because your opponent would like to bring you down so that it will change the minds of the eligible voters to vote for them. So instead of us playing a folly victim continuously every election year for the wrong people to be in position, why can't we just be patient and be more accommodating and making sure we do more underground work than coming on Facebook and Twitter and abusing people who are pointing to us in the right direction? My name is Harry, and you've been with me on Alaska Spice TV. Thank you, and if you are new to this channel, I hope you have some time. Check it out. If you find what you like, don't forget, subscribe, like, share. Support Peter Obi genuinely as a right citizen in moving things forward. Ensure that you have your PVC, and ensure that on election day, regardless of how the oppositions are going to do and make threats and make sure that we don't come out for election, let's ignore all their wrongdoing and make sure that we vote for the right candidate for the next election. In this episode, I think that Peter Obi is the most qualified and eligible person to be our president, who will unite our country. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nigeria must get to its right place. Peace and unity. One love.